Well, smart systems with sensors and AI are finding their way into more buildings to help them manage utilities and manpower at a time of rising costs. At least one facilities management app developer has seen take-up jump a third from last year. Claudia Lim finds out how these could help buildings go green as well.
Visitors to this condominium only need to drive to the gantry, scan a unique QR code, and enter. There's no need to sign at the guardhouse because registration is done online in advance.
We have actually cut down one security officers. And one security officer costs something like almost $5,000 per month. So over a year is about $60,000 or $50,000 to $60,000.
The condo went digital nearly 2 years ago as the paperwork started to mount. More manpower is now being saved because the same smart facility management system lets residents make payments more easily and also flag maintenance issues. There are plans to use it to monitor water quality with sensors in the swimming pool. The system, called Cornerstone, helps keep the team lean with only 5 workers for the entire 754-unit property.
The built environment has always been a manpower-intensive industry. So due to cost pressure, that's where industry got no choice but to look into transformation by technology means.
A similar platform is helping this factory manage its resources. In the past, engineers walked floor to floor across its 5 buildings to take room temperature and switch lights on or off. These are now done remotely for this floor via Sorexio, which monitors the building in real time using sensors. It not only means better energy use, it's also saved about a third of its total man-hours. The system can also optimize operations such as data and finance. There are plans to expand this to other areas in a bid to go green.
We've got 6 plants in Asia, and one of our key focuses is sustainability. So we have pledged to reduce our energy usage by 30%, and what goes into this 30% most is reducing raw material wastage, to reduce water usage as well as electricity. So by using this system, it definitely allows us to turbocharge our process into this initiative.
Singapore government actually looking at green initiatives. And because of the 2050 initiative they have to carbon neutral, and a lot of organizations actually working towards that and try to achieve that goals.
Smart facilities management systems are also part of the built sector's plans to go digital. Government grants are available for them to make the switch.
Really don't know.
For more, we are now joined by Sumit Agarwal. He is Professor of Finance, Economics and Real Estate at the NUS Business School. Good evening to you. Professor Agarwal, over the pandemic, there was an increase in the number of companies that adopted such facilities management systems. I mean, now that the pandemic has receded into the back of our mind, at least, are we also seeing a slowdown in the take-up of such systems?
I don't think so. I think the plan was all along for companies to accelerate their adoption of technology, but they were actually wary of it because they would get pushback from labor unions and laborers saying that this will eat up jobs. But the pandemic allowed them to kind of accelerate their use of technology. And now they're so reliant, both because of cost cutting, the environmental pressures, and efficiency gains that they have seen, that they see no reason to slow it down or cut it back. I mean, actually, it's a good thing. We should be thinking of reskilling and upskilling our laborers to find newer jobs for them that complement the technological use that we are doing in these buildings, as opposed to saying we don't need to because we need to protect labor jobs.
Professor Agarwal, for all that there are real advantages in terms of cost and efficiency, some buildings are taking a lot longer to adopt these systems. What can they do to, I suppose, reverse that and speed up?
I think it will take a time for them because the systems they had put in place, the building design or the age of the building does not allow them to adapt with technology quickly. And the cost to adopt technology may be prohibitive for them in the short run. So that's why they're slow. and it will take time for them. And I think it's a good thing. We should actually have some players who can actually do it fast. We will learn from them what are the flaws or fallbacks that we have from these kind of technological use, and other companies will adopt, or businesses will adopt such things.
You pointed out the benefits earlier, Professor Agarwal, and we also saw in the story just now that smart systems, they can do many things, cut manpower, manage resources as well. But are we pushing these solutions far enough? I mean, getting their full potential?
No, clearly not. I mean, we will see much more use of these systems going forward, mainly because we are really not using their full potential. One, because we are not actually leveraging technology in terms of AI. Second, we are not leveraging communication. We are actually using slower communication channels right now, 4G. We may go to 5G, and then these systems will become even more efficient and actually more viable and more widely used around the world.
Right, you're talking about maximizing, not pushing these to their full potential. It's not just buildings. Could these solutions help other sectors, such as construction or developers?
Oh, yes, clearly, we will be seeing wide use of these systems. Let me just give you one example. Think about automated cars or driverless cars. These driverless cars will be using all these sensors. And imagine what will happen. We will not need parking lots anymore. We will not need parking spots on roads, because cars could be driving all the time because they don't need to have a driver. And how much space that will save us in downtown areas or even across the country. And we could use those space for other purposes.
Well, that certainly would be one kind of innovation. But what about other kinds of innovations through tech? Professor Agarwal, what could we expect, especially with so much talk about AI?
Yes. So AI, I think so far I've been talking about actually or traditional technology. AI actually will put this in a very different sphere. We are seeing the use of AI in banking, in real estate, in accounting and law, and how that is actually changing and removing actually mid to upper tier jobs. And that will have an implication in efficiency for these industries, but also retooling and reskilling for the laborers.
A very different future painted for us. Professor Agarwal, thank you very much for your thoughts on that. Professor Sumit Agarwal there from the NUS Business School.